Good evening, everyone that's joined here on YouTube Live and kcrg.com for this update on the severe weather risk that we are facing again on Tuesday. Another strong storm system looks to move into the central United States, but there are some slight differences with it that may cause a slightly different outcome than what we saw on Friday. But it doesn't mean that the potential isn't there, and that's why we're here to give you the latest information, a bit more detail about what we could face during that time. So let's get right into it. Go to graphics and show this severe weather outlook. This is from the Storm Prediction Center as of this morning, and it outlines a good portion of the TV9 viewing area as in the risk for, especially in the risk for severe weather. The orange shaded area is something called an enhanced risk, and that includes areas from near Grinnell to Cedar Rapids up to just south of Dubuque and points to the south and east. So Iowa City, Washington, Mount Pleasant, you're all included in this too. A slight risk surrounds that in the yellow, which includes Tama, the Waterloo, Cedar Falls area, as well as the Dubuque tri-state area and points in between. This risk could still yet shift, both in terms of its extent. It could be brought a little bit further to the west. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if it was. And also could be changed in terms of its category. Right now we're at a level 2 out of 4 across the area. The difference between this and what we saw Friday was that was a level 4 out of 4. The top of the scale, we are not there at this point. The storm risk, again, on Tuesday, and it could come in a couple of rounds on Tuesday, which we'll take a look at here in a second. The overall setup, though, is somewhat similar to what we saw on Friday. As a result, the risk for damaging wind, tornadoes, and large hail is all there. In fact, the hail risk in eastern Iowa may be up a little bit compared to the Friday storm system, where the hail was kind of there to start with on Friday afternoon in central Iowa. We just didn't see as many reports in eastern Iowa after that. That storm system likely to develop on the western plains by the time we get to Monday. So here's where the area of low pressure will be located then, starting Monday evening. It's right over the state of Colorado, and will be shifting to the east from there. You can see it gradually move, and its warm front associated with it off to the east, shifting to the north as well. You can see that front gets to about Highway 20, which is about where that enhanced risk area is, and then the low sets up in northwest Iowa by the evening. Notice already, though, we see an area of precipitation here in eastern Iowa during the day. That could be our first round of showers and storms on Tuesday, and then this cold front lags a bit farther behind than the one on Friday did. That front could trigger a second round of showers and storms as it starts to move east into what will be a very warm and humid air mass south of the warm front. Now, on Tuesday, the temperatures will likely vary quite a bit from north to south. In fact, if you live north of Highway 20, you may not escape the 40s or low 50s, but south of it, some folks will get close to 80 degrees on Tuesday, so it'll be quite a contrast between the two. And as we know, those temperature contrasts set up relatively strong storm systems, and that's what we're facing here on Tuesday. So let's actually look a little bit closer using Pinpoint Futurecast. We'll take it here just for the TV9 viewing area starting tonight. So we're at a position where we have just scattered cloud cover during the nighttime hours, but overnight we could start to see a few scattered showers. Now to the south, that's where we could see a little cluster of scattered showers and storms develop tonight along the Iowa-Missouri border. This may limit most of the activity in eastern Iowa, but the shower threat is still there with us as we go through the day. By the time we get to the afternoon and evening, maybe even a rumble of thunder as the initial push of a change in our weather pattern starts to move in the upper atmosphere. So that's where we could see some of those showers during that time. We'll skip ahead a little bit through Tuesday morning. Overnight, Monday night into early Tuesday, there could be some scattered showers and storms, especially again across the north, much like we saw Thursday night into early Friday. So this is noon on Tuesday according to Pinpoint Futurecast. It keeps the front relatively far south. Some computer models that we rely on to help make our forecasts, it takes the front a little bit further north by this time. You can see where the winds shift to a red color and a southerly direction on the Iowa-Missouri border. That's the frontal location. There will also be a lack of cloud cover south of the front by then. So this is 3 o'clock on Tuesday afternoon. That's where we're at right now. Now this is when, depending on the frontal position, we could start to see some showers and storms develop either in far southeast Iowa or northeast Missouri. If that sounds a little bit familiar, it's not that out of place compared to where we saw them develop on Friday. But by the time we were in that time period on Friday, the front was already way up here. It was actually closer to Charles City and Prairie du Chien. Pinpoint Futurecast has the front instead way down here. That's where it's going to be located at that time, or maybe just a bit further north than that. So that's a pretty big difference from the Friday storm system. Now going forward in time, Pinpoint Futurecast actually keeps us dry for the most part on Tuesday afternoon and evening. Even as the area of low pressure moves into northwest Iowa, there are a few storms develop in north central Iowa, and then a few more as it gets closer. Notice though, after dark, we start to see additional activity develop along the front. Pinpoint Futurecast is one of the less aggressive models here with this storm system that's approaching, and so it doesn't paint a lot of precipitation by then. But we could see a second round of showers and storms on Tuesday night, moving in probably after midnight into the viewing area, which would pose a threat for some damaging winds. So yes, a two-pronged approach could be what we face, given that everything comes together correctly. But one thing that may not is something that we call the cap. We talk about this occasionally in terms of what it actually means, is that it's usually just a warm air layer just off the surface. So the old thing is that warm air rises. That's the very grounding principle here, that if air is warmer than its surroundings, it's going to rise, form clouds, and it will continue rising until it hits air that is cold enough, or until it is colder than the air around it, and then it will start to sink. And so in this case, the air tries to rise, but it hits an area of air that is warmer than it, and so it can't go past it. That cap on the atmosphere prevents showers and storms from developing. So we maybe see a few scattered clouds and they aren't able to build up very high. Or we sometimes can see some showers and storms develop above the cap, but those storms don't have access to the wind shear and the instability that we need to see storms, especially form tornadoes. That makes it very unlikely for those. You can still get large hail for those types of storms, but it really reduces the tornado risk. When there is no cap, which is basically what we were facing on Friday, storms can just develop when they're ready. Once we hit that temperature where air starts to rise freely, storms developed and they move through a very favorable atmosphere on Friday, and that's what took place. So the cap may be our friend on Friday, or on Tuesday. However, not every computer model out there shows that cap being as strong, and several do actually develop an area of scattered storms by then. So we're actually going to take a look at another view of Pinpoint Futurecast here to show what may be sort of the higher end outcome here of what could take place. Okay, so this is a Pinpoint Futurecast view. It's going to pop in here with our clouds and precipitation. It takes a second sometimes, as it does. So moving toward Monday, you see that same area of scattered showers in the north, with some scattered showers and storms down toward the border of Iowa and Missouri. As we go through the late night hours of Monday, that's when we see additional areas of scattered showers and storms move through and shift to the northeast. Now this is showing a little bit more rain that will likely take place during that time going forward. And then we'll take a look here in just a second beyond that time period. Bear with me here, folks. All right, so we're back to Tuesday morning. Scattered showers and storms, some areas of precipitation there moving through. Lots of moisture moving in too as winds shift to the south. But then by the time we get toward 2 or 3 o'clock in the afternoon again, notice that that area of showers and storms starts to develop in southeast Iowa. That's why the Storm Prediction Center has that area listed as in the higher risk for severe weather for that first round. And then later in the evening, a second round develops on the cold front and moves to the east. You can see it there just around midnight, just west of Interstate 35. So that's the potential. It's all because we have the right ingredients in place once again. The moisture will be increasing. In fact, dew points along and south of the warm front could be well into the 60s, so we'll feel even a bit more humid than it did at times on Friday. So that's increased. We'll have warmer temperatures too. The winds at the surface will generally be out of the south or southeast, which is the direction that you'd look for shear in the lowest levels. So that's the change with wind direction and speed with height. As you get up into the higher parts of the atmosphere, the winds will be coming in from the southwest and much, much stronger in speed. And so that's that change. And so that will be present as well as the energy. The cold air aloft gives us instability. This time of year, you still have that as a potential there too. So here's the bottom line, folks. in the end, the ingredients will be there for severe weather on Tuesday. There is slightly less certainty about storms occurring than there was on Friday, which was a near certainty because of the ingredients we had in place. However, if storms do form, especially Tuesday afternoon, they will have all the materials they need to be severe, and they could produce tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds. Then that second round on the cold front is another potential where it could have some damaging winds, maybe even embedded tornadoes too, but that risk gets lesser as you go after dark. So what I want you to do, as normal, is to just keep paying attention. Just stay very weather aware, both later tonight. We'll go over the latest on the KCRG TV9 News at 10. Same throughout the day on Monday. KCRG TV9 Morning News, midday, 4, 5, 6, and 10. We'll have the latest there too. And we'll have additional updates from the Storm Prediction Center between here and then. KCRG TV9 Facebook page will have additional updates, the First Alert Weather Facebook page especially, as we get closer. It's another one of those situations where I don't want you to worry. Don't lose sleep over this. I know we just went through a pretty rocky day on Friday, but we'll get through this day too as well on Tuesday, and we'll keep you informed with the latest information you need to know to stay safe going forward. So we will provide additional updates here on YouTube Live as well between now and then, likely again during the day on Monday and heading into the day on Tuesday. All we can say is just stay weather aware, and we will keep you safe. We'll take one more look at that threat risk area if somebody's joining us late here. It's the area outlined in orange in particular. Yellow will be the areas surrounding it. All of those areas have the potential to see some severe weather on Tuesday. This risk area still could change between now and then, but the risk for damaging winds, tornadoes, and large hail is there. We got a question, as severe as 331. It's a tough question to answer. The potential is there that we could see similarly severe storms. I've seen some folks asking on other places on our Facebook page about whether it's going to be worse. They've seen some posts on other Facebook pages or other YouTube accounts that say, well, it's going to be even worse than the other day. It's going to be huge. Yes, the potential is that we could see severe weather over a wide area of the central United States, but we did on Friday too. I don't think it's going to be worse per se, but I think that the potential is still relatively high, and it's still relatively early in the season. And so I just want you to be ready. We'll obviously get through it together as we go through the next couple of days and into Tuesday. The good news is, though, as we head past Tuesday, it's really looking like weather will turn a little bit nicer. We have several days with no new storm systems and nothing near what we faced both Friday and Tuesday, with temperatures that will stay cool Wednesday and Thursday, but then they will get better after that. We'll see those temperatures warm up a bit as we head toward next weekend, but without the increased chance of storms like we've seen these past couple of times. So yes, thanks for watching this evening. We'll have the latest again, as we always do, going forward. Otherwise, hope you have a good rest of your night.